Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. More Birthright here for you as we take our first dip into the Rjurik coverage, and that is going to be just a quick look at the first zone that we're going to take a look at here as part of the series, and that's the Taelshore, which is southwestern kingdoms for the Rjurik here. And that mainly covers some of the major ones as well. Halskapa, Svinik, Rjurik, and Stjordvik are collectively known as the Taelshore. So these are considered the oldest, but also most quote-unquote civilized Rjurik realms. The land, compared to like Anweir, right, is still wild and rugged, but also starkly beautiful. So here we have pine forests, rolling hills, lowland valleys, weathered peaks of the Halskap range, and many Rjurik here continue to live in their traditional nomadic manner, settling in winter camps, then migrating to ancestral hunting grounds for spring and summer. Now, a lot of these camps, or the ancestral lands rather, lie in the Northlands and across the Rjurik River. As a result, they exercise a sort of dual citizenship. So they live in the Taelshore in the harsh months, and then move to the hunting grounds in Jönköping, Höganmark, and even the hazardous Bloodskull Barony in summer, which we'll cover as well, so treading carefully there. Central Taelshore is wet and marshy, and its jarldoms cling tenuously to survival. Only the hardiest, or maybe foolhardy, choose to live in the marshes, and usually share the region with monsters, humanoid tribes, and outlaws. Now, in the coastal regions, they've begun to establish themselves as permanent settlements, pursuing lives, as farmers or herdsfolk, and even gathering in small villages for protection and economic benefit. The great coastal cities of Skapa-Hjørring, Leivika, and Hollingholmen have grown large and powerful over the years, much to the disgust of the nomadic Rjurik, who believe that the city dwellers have grown soft and turned their backs on traditions. And that's another one of the wonderful bits of the Rjurik culture here, kind of like we explored with the Voss, although here a good deal more civilized than the barbaric Voss. But this tension between those who've settled down and become more quote-unquote civilized, but more, again, sort of city dwellers, more so abandoning some of the traditional tribal aspects, like we just discovered with moving into winter camps, then going hunting, and really just being out in nature. So you have that tension between the two internally, but then outside, certainly they'd still consider themselves to be, vastly different than the Anweirans or other peoples as well, certainly the Brecht as well. The cold shoals of the Taelfirth yield rich fish harvests during spring upwelling, and the fisherfolk of the coast make their livelihood braving these rough waters. The large cities, though spoken of with disdain by traditional Rjurik, provide a convenient place for the Taelshore fisherfolk to sell their catch. Taelshore remains to most Ceruleans the place most often associated with the Rjurik, and though the region only represents a fraction of the total Rjurik territory, it is basically the sort of the face of the Rjurik to show the world, and the one which outsiders most likely get to see, because again the other areas are much further to the north and in other more harsher areas. One little bit too, which we'll cover, we get one of our first Anshe of the region, and this is an interesting one as well. So the Siren is the only Anshe who directly threatens the Taelshore realms. The White Witch, the infamous White Witch, which is far to the north, is a much greater threat, but again is more so concerned with the Northlands. Tragic figure cursed with a voice that slays all who hear her, the Siren maintains her realm with relative benevolence, wishing no trouble with her neighbors and seeking none. A welcome change of pace for most of these Anshe. The Halskapans, however, among the most aggressive and violent of the Rjurik, see the Siren's realm as a place of potential expansion. Though officially her allies, they well remember past defeats at the Siren's hands and would quickly exploit any chance to renew hostilities. So we get, again, some of the major Rjurik realms for this first section that we'll dip into, which is a nice point of departure until we get to the more exotic of the realms, in the sense of more in the inhospitable north, and some of the other major evils, like, again, the White Witch and other Anshe as we venture towards the north, and some other interesting just realms as well. So that will be our point of departure for the Rjurik. Again, we get a nice range of realms that we are familiar with. Most of those did get some support in like Player Secrets books, and then the Siren as well. And the Siren we'll cover separately as a domain, but then also as an Anshe as we continue through the Blood Enemies series. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Hit us up in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to see Birthright content and like this earlier, and also other unique Birthright content and D&D content in general, and amongst other games as well, hit us up on our Patreon. All the support there helps out as we work to try and continue to grow the channel. Thanks so much for watching.